He had always dreamed of a place to call his own, a sanctuary from the noise of the world. But the moment Liam stepped over the threshold of the old house, an unsettling quiet seemed to swallow him whole. Dust motes danced in the weak afternoon light, illuminating peeling wallpaper and floors that groaned under his weight. It was during the initial hopeful exploration that he found it. Tucked away in a dim hallway, almost perfectly flush with the wall, was a small door. It was no taller than his waist, crudely painted over so many times that its edges had softened into the plaster. A quick check of the dusty blueprints confirmed his suspicion. The door wasn't supposed to be there. It led to nowhere. Driven by a gnawing curiosity, Liam spent the better part of an hour trying to pry the small door open. He scraped away layers of chipped paint and jammed a crowbar into the seam, but it refused to budge, sealed as if it were part of the wall itself. Defeated, he gave up, dismissing it as a relic of some long-forgotten renovation. But that night, the house's silence was broken. A faint scratching, like nails dragging slowly across wood, echoed from the hallway. He sat up in bed, straining to listen. It was accompanied by a soft, sibilant whispering, too low to be understood but clear enough to chill him to the bone. The sounds were coming from behind the little door. Every night was the same, the scratching and murmuring a torturous nightly ritual. Then, one night, he woke with a start, the silence deafening. The clock on his phone read 3 a.m. A sliver of faint, cold light bled from the bottom of the hallway door, the one that was supposed to be sealed shut. It was now slightly ajar. With his heart hammering against his ribs, Liam crept out of bed and down the hall. The air grew colder with each step, the light from the crack in the door casting long, distorted shadows that writhed on the walls. He reached out a trembling hand and pushed. The door swung open without a sound, revealing a space that was both familiar and nightmarishly wrong. It was a perfect replica of his own hallway, but everything was twisted and decayed. The wallpaper was blackened with rot, the floorboards were splintered and damp, and a putrid, earthy smell hung heavy in the air. At the far end of this decaying reflection stood a figure, its back to him. It was his height wearing his clothes, but its posture was unnaturally stiff. A sense of absolute dread washed over Liam, rooting him to the spot. Slowly, as if moving through water, the figure began to turn. The familiar shape of his own shoulders and head moved with a horrifying, disjointed motion. When it finally faced him, Liam's breath caught in his throat. Where his face should have been, there was only a swirling, featureless void, a black hole of utter emptiness. A silent scream tore through the distorted room as the shadowy doppelganger lunged forward, its form blurring as it rushed towards him with impossible speed. Snapping out of his paralysis, Liam slammed the small door shut just as the thing reached it, the impact shuddering through the frame. He scrambled for his toolbox, grabbing a hammer and a handful of nails. With frantic, desperate swings, he began boarding up the door, plank after plank, until the strange portal was completely obscured. He knew, with a certainty that would haunt him for the rest of his days, that whatever was on the other side was still there, waiting. And every night, at 3 a.m., he could still hear the faint, patient scratching from behind the boards.